focus on hitting your goals in every area of your business. Remember, the universe rewards the bold. A leader has to take the risks.
So I'm going to close out with a couple of parting thoughts about closing. Obviously, I believe in results. You don't get to an $18 million net worth if you can't get results, if you can't close people, if you can't get people to write you a check, if you can't recruit people, if you can't get people to say yes, you're in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of points here. I'm going to jam right through this. And but number one, as far as increasing your closing skills, number one is make sure that both the husband and the wife are both there. Okay, so when you are closing, when you are doing a presentation, don't waste your time doing a presentation. We call it a one-legged appointment. You want the husband and the wife to both be there. Okay, both be present. Because what's going to happen is if you try to close a sale without the both decision makers there, you're going to get through the presentation and then you're going to get this objection. Even though the person sounded like they wanted to buy the entire time, they're going to get to the end. You're going to get to the end. They're going to say, oh, that sounds great. I'm going to go talk to my spouse. That's it. And then how do you overcome that? You can't overcome that because what are you going to say? No, don't tell your spouse or don't ask your spouse. There's no way to overcome that objection. So don't do appointments one-legged. Number two, stay in the right market. Want to make your life easy? Want to have a nice life? Want to enjoy the process? Want to enjoy closing and getting a lot of results? Make sure you're in the right market. So stop trying to sell 18-year-olds to buy life insurance. And at the same token, stop trying to convince, 70-year-olds to join Primerica now, or even somebody that just got a promotion. So I was talking to a lady that we recruited and she just got a promotion and she's so excited about it. She doesn't care about Primerica. And I said, no problem. Timing's everything. When you're ready, I'll be here. She's my client, so I don't want to make her mad and make her cancel on me. So, I'm like, hey, God bless you. I'm rooting for you. Want you to be successful. Whatever you do, love you. Whenever you want to come back, I'll be here. I ain't going nowhere. And so that's kind of the, but I always want to stay in the right market. Okay, stay in that market. Look, when you sit down with somebody with young children under the age of 16, good chances you're going to write a life insurance sale. Okay, if you want to do a lot of securities and you want to focus on securities, then spend time in a market that's above 50 years old because they have money. People have money over 50, 60, 70 years old. So that's your market you want to stick and stay if you want to focus on securities. If you want to focus on recruiting and life insurance, and we all get the choice, man. Some people in Primerica, that's all they want to do is focus on securities. God bless you. Nothing wrong with that. You can make a lot of money in the securities business. But if you want to build a big base shop, if you want to build a big team, if you want to build a lot of residual passive income, then you have to start recruiting. But you recruit by staying in that recruiting market. And that's 18 to 35 years old, married, kids, home, job, right? Good people, right? Good character, good morality, right? Those are the people that you want to recruit. And people that are competitive, that have a sports background. If you are an athlete or you know a lot of athletes, all you should be recruiting is athletes. Competitive people, because uncompetitive people tend to not do as well in Primerica. People that are competitive, people that are winners, people that want to win, people that'll fight. Like, look, if you see somebody and they're playing checkers with their 5-year-old and they won't let their 5-year-old win, you know they're the right person for Primerica, okay? You know that they're competitive. Hell no, am I going to let my 5-year-old win at checkers? All right, so that is competitive, okay? Number 3, be equipped to overcome objections. You need to understand how to overcome objections. If you cannot overcome the resistance from the client, it's impossible long range to be able to make more money. You got to know how to ask the proper questions to get people to say yes. Number 4, stay in control by what? Asking the right questions. For example, so Mr. and Mrs. Client, I know you want to think about it. I think that's great. What is it that you want to think about it? Is it me? Is it my company? Is it something I said? Level with me, Mr. and Mrs. Client. Could it be the money? Yeah, it's the money. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Client, how much too much do you feel it is? Well, I feel like it's about $30 too much. Great. So, Mr. and Mrs. Client, if I was able to put together a program that was $30 less, do you feel like that's the program that you would want to move forward with? Well, yeah. Okay, great. Here's a program for $30 less. Mr. and Mrs. Client, if you had a choice between this one and this one and this one, which one would you feel, looking at what you feel is important to you, looking at what you feel is the right thing to do, looking at what you feel is most financially doable? If you had a choice between this one, this one, this one, which one would you feel would be in the best interest of your family for the long run? I picked that one. Great. Great, Mr. and Mrs. Client. Obviously, I can't guarantee that we can cover you. It is something you do have to medically qualify for. So what I'm going to do is ask you a couple of background medical questions, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound fair? Yeah, that sounds fair. Start filling out the application. So again, you notice that that was just a string of questions. The questions are getting the client to say yes or no. If I can get the client to say yes or no, or yes with the yes buying momentum, then my closing ratio increases. Number 5, know all the strengths of your company. You better know all the pros and cons of our company. You better know all the things about our company. You better know what's good about our company, what's bad about our company, what the competition says about our company. You better know our financial strength. You better take a look at the annual report maybe to understand our profits and our liabilities, and or at least how to find it. Go on to Yahoo Finance, punch in PRI, pull up everything you wanted to know about Primerica. And of course, our Primerica.com website has everything that you would ever want to know about Primerica. You could even go into the shareholders section, and that'll give you even more technical analysis about the company. But the one thing about Primerica that you got to understand is we're pretty financially sound. We have very little to no debt as a company. We are very, very financially sound. We just bought a $600 million company. So we're going to be starting to sell health insurance, well, Medicare, like, Medicare insurance and stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to start selling that. It's coming soon to a office near you. Number 6, ask great closing questions, right? That was a closing question. If you had a choice between this one, this one, and this one, which one? What is that though? That's called the triplicate of choice. You had a choice between this one, this one, and this one. Always use the triplicate of choice. Always use the alternate of choice, at least, right? So the alternative choice is, hey, Mariah, I have Monday and Tuesday available, 6 and 8 o'clock. What day is better for you? That's called the alternate of choice. So don't just talk to talk. Don't just think that because you're talking, you're selling. That's not how a professional does it. A professional asks questions. A professional uses the alternative choice, the triplicate of choice, A professional uses the takeaway close. What was the takeaway close? The takeaway close was when I said, obviously, Mr. and Mrs. Client, I can't guarantee that we can give you this coverage. It is something you do have to medically qualify for. And what are they thinking? They're thinking, what are you talking about? I can qualify for anything. You better sign me up right now because I'm going to show you, I'm going to prove to you that I can qualify for this damn thing. Right? That is the takeaway close, the psychological portion of the takeaway close. Assume the sale. Assume the sale. Okay. So what does that mean? That just means I'm going to assume it. So you notice how I said, I'm going to ask you a couple of background medical questions and then we'll go from there. Does that sound fair? And they say, yeah. And I assume it. So what do? I start filling out the application. You have to assume that everything's going to go right. You have to assume that they're going to buy. If you've gone through the presentation, you're going to assume that they're going to buy and allow them to object whenever they're going to object. But don't get scared. Rookies, they get scared. They get nervous because they think, oh my God, they're going to think I'm pushy because I'm shooting for the sale. Well, stop overthinking shit. Just ask for the dang sale and allow them to give you an objection, because who are you to tell them what they want and what they don't want? You assume it and allow them to tell you that they don't want it if they don't want it. Allow them to object and allow your professional, educated sales training allow you to overcome those objections in the way that you need to overcome them. Never argue with the prospect. I don't know what number that is. I've been all over the place here. So never argue with the prospect. Don't argue with the client. Never. And the reason why is because your client, remember, the client gets to write the check. If they don't like you and they don't trust you, then they're not going to buy from you. I don't care how good your product is. Just like on the flip side, people will buy your product even if they like you, and even if your product is not as good as the next product, they'll buy from you because they like you. They buy from. That's why you got to build relationships with your clients, because they're going to buy from you because they love you, because they enjoy your company. They don't care about an extra $10 a month. They just want to buy from you because they like you. They want to help you. They want to see you do good. Right? The next one is sell the nightmare. You got to understand how to sell the nightmare. Remember, corporate America sucks. Nobody could ever convince me otherwise. Corporate America is a scam. That is a nightmare to me. To have to work 40 years at a job for normal average pay and then get to the end and get a little pension or a retirement program is a nightmare to me. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to share how I feel with the client that I'm trying to recruit and get them to feel that and to see that nightmare. And not to be rude or to be mean to them, or, obviously I'm going to do it in a professional way. Look, Mr. and Mrs. Client, look, I get it. Your job is great. It's taking care of you right now. But the truth is, you and I both know they could fire you anytime. They could lay you off at any time. They have complete control of your life, of your income, of your future. How does that make you feel, Mr. and Mrs. Client? And so they feel like, well, it doesn't make me feel very good. Okay, great. So shouldn't we explore other options? So if you feel like you want a better life, I was talking to a new recruit yesterday, and she is about to quit, right? She's kind of like, oh, I'm so busy and I'm going through, I guess she's going through a divorce and kind of a situation right now. And I said, and I was very gentle with her. And I said, look, I said, I get it. things are hard for you right now. You're going through you're going through a mess and it's not easy. And I totally get it. I sympathize with, right? That's my empathy. That's me being empathetic to that person's situation, which we should always be empathetic because everybody goes through their own trials and tribulations and stuff. And I get it, man. I mean, that is what it is. I can't change that. And I can't change how she feels. But I did, after I showed her my empathy, I said, whatever, her name was, right? I said, can I just ask you a question? Do you want a great life or do you want an average and ordinary life? Right? Just right. There's my alternative choice, right? What do you want? Do you want average and ordinary or do you want great? And she said, I want great. And I said, okay, so doing what you're doing right now, going through, even when this passes, even when this situation passes, you're still going to just be out of job. Is that job going to allow you to have a great life or an average life? And she said average. And I said, but you said you wanted great. So guess what we're going to do? And this is where you step in. Guess what we're going to do? Guess what leadership means? Is you say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get licensed. We're going to move forward and we're going to do our best. I'm not saying that you're going to neglect all the things that you got to do. You still got to go to your job. You still got to deal with the mess. You still got to deal with all stuff. But guess what we're going to do? We're going to get licensed. And you know what? She flipped. She totally flipped by us having this little conversation. And she said, you know what? I'm going to get licensed. What do I got to do to get licensed? Because I think she already finished her classes. She just needs to take the test. But again, if we don't step in and have these conversations with people, you don't see, that's me closing her on a better life. Provide massive value by educating versus selling. Okay. We want to educate versus sell. Always do what's right. Right. Always do what's in the best interest of your client, because look, why screw your client? They're just going to cancel on you later anyways. If you screw them or you hurt them or you do what's wrong, I mean, it's just a waste of time to me. I would rather make less money and do what's right, because they're going to love you more in the end and they're going to refer you to more people in the end. So just do what's right. Like, I don't want to be a used car salesperson. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do it. So I'm always thinking about the client situation, not how much I get paid. I don't think about it in my mind. I don't think, well, man, if I sell them this policy, I'm going to make more money. I never think that, not one time. I only think about what's in their best interest, what their budget will allow, what their situation will allow, and then I'll make recommendations. Now, I don't make the lowest recommendation possible. That's why I use the triplicate of choice. If they tell me they want their family at a better standard of living, higher standard of living, I'm going to give them a recommendation of a higher standard of living. I'm going to give them a recommendation based on what what they need, and I'm going to give a lower recommendation, generally speaking, based on their budget. So that way, it allows them to choose. It allows them to make the decision. Remember, if I tell you what to do, you doubt it. If you say what to do, you believe it and you'll defend it. Number 14, calculate the cost of procrastination. Again, don't worry about the numbers, but calculate the cost of procrastination. Art talked about that in that video today, right? The cost of waiting, right? You don't want to start an investment right now. Okay, that's fine. But if you wait 10 years, it's going to cost you double, triple what you could be setting aside right now. And you'll end up with the same amount of money. So you might as well start now, and you only have to save a lot less because it's time value of money. And the last thing is show your passion. Be passionate about what you're doing. Man, you guys always feel my passion. You always see my passion, and you know I'm passionate. because I believe in what I'm doing, and that's how you're going to become successful. You're not going to become successful being a docile, never talk to anybody, introverted. I'm not saying you can't be introverted. You can be introverted, but at some point you got to get out of your shell and you got to talk to people, man. You got to start making friends, building relationships, get out of your dang house and go meet new people, make new friends, and have some fun, man. Be passionate about what you're doing. Let the world know who you are. Let the world know you're coming, man. Let the world know that you want to succeed and that you're going to succeed and you're going to change your life for generations to come. Your moment, it's your time. Do not get left behind, okay? Do not get left behind. Let's get after it. If you're in my base shop, Alonzo base shop, I want you to text me right now. Actually, everybody should text me, but if you want to text me right now, just tell me where you're at, how many appointments you have for the week, and where you're going to finish. That's all I want to know from you. If you can do that right now, I would appreciate that. And other than that, man, let's make sure that that we keep dreaming bigger than ever. Let's get after it and do it now. So love you guys. God bless. Have a great day.